What can you say about Bradley Beal?
He's stronger than I expected. He's a strong young man. I used to think of him as kind of wiry and thin, but I was totally wrong. He's thick.
Game 2 tonight, the Bucks looking to avoid going down 0-2 to the Suns. We're celebrating the big man today. Andre Drummond joining us live. Milwaukee big man Brook Lopez is also stopping by. So grab a seat for a big time game here in Phoenix. Oh yeah. The jump starts now.
Welcome to The Jump, presented by Credit Karma.
We are live in Phoenix, Arizona. Game 2 of the NBA Finals will be held between the Bucks and Suns tonight on ABC. Welcome indeed to The Jump. I am Rachel Nichols. I'm sitting here alongside Mr. Richard Jefferson, Mr. Kendrick Perkins. We've got all kinds of guests coming through today. We cannot wait. But first, we got to talk about Game 2 of the Finals tonight, gentlemen. Okay. It is not technically a must-win for the Milwaukee Bucks, but history might say otherwise. Teams that are up 2-0 in the Finals have a 31-4 all-time series record. So, Richard, your Cavs in 2016.
We were one of those teams.
You were one of those teams, but there's not that many on that side of the ledger.
No.
You did go down 0-2 and then go on to win the Finals, so what adjustments would you recommend that the Bucks make to be like you, Richard?
Well, the first thing that I would recommend is for Perk to stop taking all these deep breaths and acting like he's got an attitude. That's the first thing that we want to address. And second, I think the mentality is more of, it is a boxing match. You want to feel each other out in game 1. The Bucks were playing without Giannis in the first 2 games, so that's not going to be the best version of themselves, and I think the Phoenix Suns know that. So I think for the Bucks, it's just more keep pushing in the same direction, figure it out, get that rhythm, but they're going to need more contributions similar to what they had when Giannis was out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just wish everybody wouldn't overreact to game 1 for the simple fact, if you look at the history of the Suns throughout this postseason, they have dominated game 1s because they put themselves in position to be successful by closing series out, right? Mm-hmm. You look at the Bucks, they had a quick turnaround. They wasn't able to make the adjustments, right? They had to go in with the same type of thing that had them successful against the Atlanta Hawks they did in game 1. Now they have an opportunity to make adjustments, and it's just cleaning up the pick and roll, maybe not switching, challenging Drew Holiday to get up and over screens the guards, because you can't switch now. The Aiden is too talented. When the Atlanta series, you were able to switch because you were able to challenge, your guards were able to challenge John Collins and Clint Capella on the low block. Mm-hmm. You can't do that with DeAndre Ayton.
Right.
And then you can't leave Brook Lopez and those bigs on the island. What Phoenix do a great job of on the offensive end, they don't give the defense a chance to load up and help. They do a great job of player movement when they have a guy isolated at the top of the key, so you can't play boxes and elbows.
One of the fun things about game 1 of this series, even if you're a dispassionate observer, you're not rooting for either team, but watching Chris Paul in real time be able to say, oh, I see how this is going for the first 2 quarters, and by quarter 3 just being like, and this is how we will pick this apart. Mm-hmm. And I think that is, of all the things that are fun to watch about basketball at this elite NBA Finals level, some of it is like, oh wow, did you see that chase down block from Giannis? Or, oh wow, did you see so-and-so shot the lights out? This, to me, just as a fan, is one of the more fun things to also see. Watching someone figure something out, make the adjustment, and then deliver the kill shot in real time. It's fascinating part of the game.
Well, and what I love about it is that Chris Paul does such a great job of spreading out the floor. Devin Booker typically comes out and is very aggressive in the first quarter. He likes to get everybody involved, but it's not as simple as that. Chris Paul puts himself in a position to be successful. Now he's got to go be successful. So when he's distributing and he's doing all those stuff in the first 3 quarters, then next thing you know, right around those boxes and elbows, now those things are open. Chris Paul still got to knock down those shots. He still's got to get to that spot. He's still got to read the defense, but now it's so much easier because he's put in that work.
Well, I wanted to ask you something, Perk. So we look at that number 31-4, right? That's the record of teams that go up 2-0. that's a little skewed just because the home team is often the better team, right? So it's not a surprise if the home team goes up early because normally they're there because they have the higher seed from doing better during the season. Do you think that this Suns team is so much more of a higher seed or a higher sort of elite level team than the Bucks, or do you think they're more evenly matched? Because what follows will affect that.
No, I actually think they're pretty equal.
Okay.
I mean, look, when you get to this point in time in the finals, right, you could talk about defensive coverages, you could talk about offensive schemes, you could talk about everything in the world, but these two teams are here for a reason. It's the best out of the Eastern Conference and the best out of the Western Conference. They deserve to be here. It comes down to who wanted the most. It comes down to your superstars rising to the occasion and making shots. I keep hearing everybody talk about Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis in a pick and roll. If you go back and look at CP3 and Devin Booker, they made tough contested twos and tough contested threes time and time again in game one. Great offense beat good defense any day. So right now it's at this moment of who wanted the most.
Well, look, you have an NBA title. I really respect both of your opinions, but there's a guy we have who has 2 NBA titles.
Oh, and he's far better than us. Not
let's
better
bring
looking,
him
not better
in
looking, but
also.
better.
Yeah, right,
Better.
right. What's up,
Chris
CB?
Bosh, thank you so much for
he heard
being
us?
here today. I love having you on this, and I wanted to get your opinion. What adjustments do you think the Bucks need to make tonight?
Well, I mean, we've been talking about the free throw discrepancies, and I think that's one of the things that they can improve on in the next game. Of course, you can debate on referee calls and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you have to guard without fouling. Book and see Chris Paul, they're going to be very aggressive. So they're going to have to make sure they stay in front of them and kind of like Perk said, keep forcing them into those contested twos. But to be honest, if I'm the Bucks, I kind of like where I am right now. You definitely can't come into game 2 getting down 20 points. I think if you're in that position in the finals against any team on the road, that's no good for you. They need to make sure they come out strong tonight, make sure they have a better game plan and a better effort in the beginning of the game to make sure that they could be a little closer. But all in all, they've got to play a little bit better defense. I think they can be pretty happy with that. But really, they've got to score a few more points and get a few more stops. And I have to say, last week on the show, I said that I didn't think Giannis was going to be able to come back. I have to give him his credit. He showed some poise and a lot of toughness. So give credit to Giannis and the medical staff of the Bucks for getting him back out there because he looked pretty good.
I mean, he obviously several basketball moves he made during that game were just exceptional. The chase down block obviously is just such a visual representation of his athleticism.
That big
being
body
okay.
was the most impressive thing I saw.
Right?
That big body.
You don't know nothing about his big body.
I do want to pick up, though, on what Chris was just talking about with the free throw disparity, right? Yeah. Certainly one of the big storylines of Game 1. The Suns were 25 of 26 at the line. The only miss came just within the last 30 seconds of the fourth quarter when the score was already pretty much decided. The Bucks had just 16 attempts, and yesterday, Mike Budenholzer addressed the situation.
Big disparity at the line, and Chris in particular, not a lot of nights when he's going to not go to the line at all. Just how did you see that aspect of last night?
You trying to bait me?
I'm just, no.
No, I mean, it's a huge part of the game. They have 25 points from the free throw line. We're a team that prides ourselves in defending and being able to be good defensively without fouling. I can't remember the last time a team got 25 free throws in a game against the Bucks. And then conversely, the way Giannis attacks, the way Chris attacks, as many opportunities as Chris has with the ball. It's frustrating.
All right, so Perk, what do you make of the free throw disparity here?
Oh, please. He should be frustrated. He should be frustrated with the Milwaukee Bucks. Look, I don't want to hear that, right? You get rewarded for being aggressive. And time again, we all have been on the jump. We all have been on multiple platforms talking about why do the Bucks settle? They settle time and time again for three-point shots instead of
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a huge disparity. 25 free throws in an NBA Finals game. If I'm on the other team, yeah, I would be a little upset too. But it's game one. It's one game. They're going to continue to attack. You have to give credit to the Suns for being aggressive on their home floor, dictating the tone in game one. Book was super aggressive, kind of like what Perk was saying. He's not settling. They're attacking the rim and being aggressive, and they're making an effort to get to the line. So I don't want to take anything away from the Suns. With them definitely having that in their game plan. And, they're taking and they're making their shots. So, 25 points off of free throws. You can argue that if the Bucks have 25 free throws as well, will they convert that many points? So I think all in all, at the end of the day, you just got to play the game. The referees are going to do their job. The teams have to do their job. And, you've got to guard without fouling. And look, Devin Booker, he was 10 for 10 last game one. He's one of the best scorers in the league. So it's not going to be easy. So we'll see how the whistle's going to be tonight. But usually in game twos, in my experience, those are the harder fought, more physical games. So we'll see what the Milwaukee Bucks' game plan is, who they're going to guard, and how their matchups are going to be coming out in the first quarter.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Even on the broadcast last night, they said, or 2 nights ago, they said that the Milwaukee Bucks look a step slow, and that's why coming out in the third quarter, the Suns really started running away with it a little bit. When you're talking about fouls and you're talking about mismatches, and the Bucks play big so often, and then you have the Phoenix Suns moving that ball and playing small, but also Chris Paul is historically known as one of the individuals that is the best at drawing fouls, getting teams in the bonus, getting guys to the free throw lines, little ticky-tacks when his team is in the bonus. Let's not distract from the fact that they did do some things very well on the defensive end. They held Devin Booker to 1 for 8. Jay Crowder didn't make some shots. So, even if you take away 6, 7 of those free throws, Devin Booker's probably not going to go 1 for 8 from 3. Jay Crowder's probably not going to miss all of his threes. So, yes, you might have gave up some points there, but you did a good job in other areas. It's all about adjustments and your aggressiveness. This is less about the Phoenix Suns and more about the aggressiveness of the Milwaukee Bucks.
And your point about getting tired, look, the Bucks came right off of a long and contested series with the Hawks, pretty much straight coming out here and diving into this NBA Finals. The Suns, not for the first time in this playoffs, took care of their business early enough and had a little bit benefit of just scheduling and when different series started and didn't to get some rest. And I do think you saw that disparity also. And we'll see if with a little more rest, if the Bucks now can attack the paint a little bit more aggressively. All right, guys.
Anybody else notice that Richard's trying to grow hair on the sides?
I don't know if Director Kathy can do a close-up.
No, she can't.
She can't. There we go.